What's going on, everyone? Real Red Politics, and welcome back to another video on my channel. Before I get into today's video, if you could leave a like, that would mean a lot. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. Or if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you guys know when a new video is uploaded. And I try to upload it 1 to 3 times a week, if not more. I know I didn't upload anything last week, so this week I'm going to try and get at least 3 videos out. So today, I'm going to be starting this week out with an election prediction video. It's been a little while since we've done one. And I think the last video I did was Trump and Kamala Harris. I think. I could be wrong, but I think those were the last ones that I did. So we're going. The election prediction I have for you guys today is going to be a prediction with Nikki Haley as the nominee for the Republican side, and Joe Biden as the Democrat nominee. Now, I know Nikki Haley's declared her bid for the presidency. I don't think she's going to win, mainly because she is such an establishment neocon and she's grifting a lot. You know, I think she said something like, what was it? Like, CRT is un-American. It's like, yeah, everyone knows this. You're not, making a grand statement because everyone knows this. All, Americans that have common sense know CRT is un-American. But, I'm not going to really get into the nitty-gritty, but, we're going to be... And, okay, well, one more thing is, if you look at her South Carolina polls, I think right before she entered the race or whatever, I made a video on it, so I'm actually going to leave a link in the top right-hand corner. If you have not yet seen it, be sure to go check it out. This was when I was informing people on the channel that Nikki Haley was going to announce her run, and then she ended up announcing her run. So, but I wasn't going to make another video on it because it seemed kind of redundant. So just I'm going to leave a link to the top right hand corner. Make sure you go check that video out. I think it's a pretty good video. I go over my thoughts and opinions on it, and give my kind of what I think about the whole thing and why it's good for Trump. So, today's election prediction, we're going to be discussing whether or not Nikki Haley would win if she was the nominee against Joe Biden. And I can make this video short and just say no. Or, I can actually, give you guys the video. I'm actually going to give you guys the video, don't worry. But, long story short, I don't think she's going to win. She is such an establishment candidate. She's a globalist. She is a complete neocon. She's very, she's not a tough conservative like she's making herself seem out to be. She said some very questionable things in the past. She's just not all there when it comes to, what it means to be a conservative, because, sure, she might vote Republican some of the time, but if you look at the stuff she said and the fact that she, she's a big globalist, she's a big interventionist, that kind of stuff. She wouldn't be a very good fit for the country, and, I mean, she'd be better than Joe Biden, but, do I think she would win against Joe Biden? Well, let's see. We're going to start with the safe red states, as always. Those are the states of Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska. I think Nebraska's safe red, and then there's one district. It's District 1 that's usually blue, I think. So actually, real quick, we're gonna just make that blue. Make it simple. Kansas. I'm gonna put Oklahoma. I know Oklahoma's been trending to the left a little bit, but I think that when it comes to the 2024 election cycle, no matter who the candidate is, I think it'll still go. I think it'll still be a safe red state. We got Missouri. I'm going to put Iowa in there. I know some people are like, well, Iowa could be, maybe be more of the likely category or whatnot. No, I think it'll be safe. Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi. Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. We'll put South Carolina in there. Tennessee, Indiana. Do I think she'd win Ohio by 10 points? Well, with this, I think the state has gone to the right quite a bit over the past few years. So I do think she'd win the state by at least 10 points. West Virginia, Kentucky, and we're going to go with Maine's 2nd district. Oh, can't forget Alaska. Now, I could put Texas in safe right. With Trump and DeSantis, I did because I am very confident they would win by a safe margin. Nikki Haley, I'm not sure, sir. I'm not 100% sure she'd win Texas by a safe margin. I still think she would win Texas. I don't know by a safe margin. We're going to put Florida in the safe column merely because DeSantis won the state by almost 20 points at the governorship level. I know people tend to vote different with state and federal, but I think if you look at how far to the right Florida's moved, which is a good thing, if you looked at how much to the right Florida has moved compared to over the past decade or so, I think it's very likely it's going to be a safe red state. So now we're going to go with safe blue state. Now, I think with Trump and DeSantis, Oregon likely, but with Nikki Haley, we're going to make it, I'm pretty confident all these states are going to be safe Democrat states. We're going to go with Hawaii, Colorado, Illinois, New York. Let's see, what else we got? We got Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and DC's 3rd District. So, okay, that leaves, this is what we have so far. This is the map. This is 179 Nikki Haley to Joe Biden's 188. Now, of course, this is a prediction. I sometimes take polls and stuff into consideration, but Nikki Haley is polling so low, and Joe Biden's also polling pretty low, that I don't think it would really make a difference in this video. So now we're going to kind of go on from there. Well, let's fill in what we have left. Texas, likely red. Even though, it's had candidates like George Bush. George Bush was the governor from Texas. That kind of stuff. They tend to, George Bush was a globalist, that kind of stuff. Sure. Now, people are wondering, well, if, they voted for George Bush by, 10 plus points, something like that. Why wouldn't they vote Nikki Haley? Well, the state is still the majority of the state's still very conservative, but because of big tech moving in there and stuff, it has moved to the left a little bit. And I don't think Nikki Haley could get the turnout that Trump or DeSantis could in that state. And no, New Mexico's safe blue. I don't know why I forgot about New Mexico. So that leaves us with Nevada, Arizona, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, Vermont, North Carolina, Virginia, and Georgia. So, do I think she'd win Wisconsin? Though Wisconsin's been trending to the right, I think she's going to have a difficult time getting Wisconsin. Now, Michigan, I am pretty confident is not going to go for her if she wins the nomination. I don't think she's going to win the nomination. I continue to say this because Trump is a way better candidate, and people would be a fool not to vote for Trump. And people are like, well, what about DeSantis? Well, DeSantis hasn't thrown his hat into the race. I don't think he will. I think he's going to finish his term out in Florida and then run. But if he does run, I'm still voting for Trump. I'm not voting for DeSantis. Yeah, I don't have a lot against DeSantis, but comparing the two, Trump is the better candidate. We've seen what he can do. He's not as much of a globalist as DeSantis is. Yes, DeSantis is a globalist, not to the point of like Nikki Haley or George Bush, but he still has some globalist tendencies that should be questioned in a primary debate if he does choose to run. So we got Wisconsin. I'm probably going to put tilt, actually. I was going to put it tilt Democrat, but I think because the state has trended to the right, sure, Ron Johnson didn't win by a big margin or anything, but with Wisconsin still trending to the right, I think she'll win by a tilt margin. Now, we're going to go with Michigan, but is it tilt Democrat? Now, people are like, well, why is it not lean and whatnot? Well, if you look at the 2016 election cycle, these were both, what were they? They might have been in the lean column, but they were in at least the tilt column. But like I said, Trump and Haley are two completely different candidates. The biggest difference between them, Trump's a good candidate, Haley's not a good candidate. Next, we got Minnesota. Minnesota still needs a ton of work before it's ever really going to go Republican. They need to do a lot of work at the state level. They need to do a lot of work at the local level. Granted, it's been trending to the right, but it's going to take at least another decade before I think we're going to see a Republican pick up Minnesota. Because even in 2016, Trump didn't pick up Minnesota. And it was a closer margin than it had been in recent years. So we're going to look at Nevada. Now, Nevada is one of the states that's been trying to do the right recently. You had a governorship flip there. You didn't have Adam Laxalt win his Senate race, unfortunately. There are some questions there, but I'm not going to go into that. So with Joe Lombardo unfortunately has a Democrat majority in the House there in Nevada, but I still think he'll be able to get some stuff done. I think he's going to be able to move the state to the right, and with him being a county sheriff, I think it's going to help the state a lot. Do I think Haley would win Nevada? Well, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm going to put it in the tilt column. Yeah, I'm going to put Nevada into the tilt red column just because, I think it's possible. I'm really not sure, though. So I really don't know. We're going to put Maine's first. I don't even think she's going to win Maine all. I don't think she's going to win the Maine AL too. I don't think she's going to win that. I think Trump won that in 2016 and 2020. But Nikki Haley is such a bad candidate. I don't think she would win it. And so, in Maine's first district always goes Democrat. Now we got Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Vermont, and New Hampshire. New Hampshire, I think, goes Republican. I don't know if I get them mixed up or what's going on. But if I get them mixed up, just let me know in the comment section below. I know I tend to do that. So that leaves us with Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, and Pennsylvania. Where do we go from here? Pennsylvania, unfortunately, they didn't have a good 2022 midterm cycle. They elected John Fetterman, who really isn't in the Senate right now because, from what I understand, he's in the hospital. For what reason, I'm not sure. And then they also elected Josh Shapiro, who's going to run the state into the ground. You look at the big cities there, and Pennsylvania needs a lot of work. So I think Trump won it in 2016. I could be wrong. But Trump, 2016 and 2020 Trump, very strong. 2024 Haley, yeah, not so much. So I'm actually going to put Pennsylvania into the likely column, or leaning column. I know there are some people like, oh, I really like Haley because this, and this. I'm like, sure, you like whatever candidate you want. I'm just telling you, Nikki Haley's not a good candidate. I think when I checked, she was polling at 4% in her own state that she governed. That's how bad of a candidate she is. I know polls aren't accurate. You look at 2016, 2020, 2022, whatever. But still, if you can't crack at least 10% in your own state, if you can't crack double digits in your own state, you're probably not going to be able to crack at least 10% at the primary level. And I think what she's going to end up doing is if DeSantis runs, she's going to drop out, endorse DeSantis so she can get like a cabinet spot or a VP spot or whatever. And another thing she's going to be called out for in the debates is she said she wasn't going to run if Trump ran. Trump announced his run, and then she did. So she completely just flip-flopped on what she said, that she tends to do. So that's something I think Trump's going to probably, question her on the debate stage, right and rightly so. Okay, Georgia. Now, Georgia moved to the left, but it's moving back to the right. Now, I'm not a huge Brian Kemp fan. There are some people that really don't like him. There's other people that really like him. I'm kind of in between. He's done some good things for the state, but he didn't have a good relationship with Trump, really. He's been a very mediocre governor. He hasn't been bad. He hasn't been amazing. Do I think Haley would win Georgia? I think if we're looking at the 2020 margins, I honestly... Now, okay, I could take, the fact that election reform happened in Georgia, so the election system is a lot more strict. It's not as open as it was, which is a good thing. Do I think she'd win the state of Georgia? Actually, you know what? I'm going to put that in the tilt column, and I'm confident that nowadays Trump and DeSantis would win it by a likely column. Okay, now we got North Carolina and Virginia. Virginia. Probably going to be a likely blue state. I had this in the red column for Trump and DeSantis. DeSantis especially, because Youngkin and him work well together. And I think it's very possible that if DeSantis runs, he might ask Youngkin to be his running mate. Youngkin's not a bad governor by any means. He's governing in a pretty blue state, and he's been doing a great job. Now look at Arizona. They haven't fixed their election system. That's going into the tilt blue column. You look at the 2022 midterms. A lot of questions. I've stated this multiple times on my channel. There are some very legitimate questions people have with Katie Hobbs because there are, she has a possible scandal that's going on right now. There's a lot of questions about that election. And clearly they didn't fix their election system. So until it gets fixed, until Kari Lake can fix it, I don't see Arizona going for a Republican, even if every single Republican that votes and Democrats vote Republican. Look at how Arizona went wacky. I just don't trust Arizona. Okay, so now that leaves us with the final state of North Carolina. North Carolina went for Trump in 2016 and in 2020. But the question is now I know at the beginning of the video I said Nikki Haley wasn't going to win. I think she's such a bad candidate that she wouldn't win North Carolina. Now, does that mean she would lose North Carolina? No. I'm going to put this in the tilt column I'm going to put this in the tilt Democrat column. Mainly because, yes, their state's moving to the right. They have a lot of work that needs to be done at the state and local and federal level. But they elected who I think is going to be a great senator. So, they're moving to the right. And, well, okay, now I got to think about it. Is Georgia more likely to go blue than North Carolina? Or is North Carolina more likely to go red than Georgia? That's a good question. I'm actually going to flip the states. That's not going to change the outcome. But I think she might win North Carolina, not Georgia. Both of these are really a toss-up. I'm really not sure. But I don't think she would win I don't think she would win the general election just because she really is terrible. Anyways, so I know I haven't been uploading a lot. I'm doing my best to get, videos out 1 to 3 times a week. And my goal for this week is to get 3 videos out sometime between Monday and Friday. As you guys know, I only record through the week and upload during the week. And eventually I would like to, start a podcast of some sort. Eventually I'd like to start YouTube live streaming. Please give me ideas for, different stuff like a live stream, like different political topics and stuff. I'd love to talk about them on stream with you guys, answer any questions you guys have, political views, whatever it is. Let me know in the comment section below, and, we'll kind of go from there. So, without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you are not yet subscribed or are new to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you guys know when a new video is uploaded. And stay tuned for more political content coming your guys' way.